Good afternoon. My name is Alex Clemson, and today on the Oregon State MBA channel, we're going to take a look at risk management. Any project a manager undertakes has some kind of risk associated with it due to the stochastic environment in which we live and work every day. This risk can be reduced and even eliminated in certain instances. Now, you may already be starting to think about insurance policies and other common forms of decreasing your risks. However, due to the complexity of most projects facing today's managers, more is often required. A very helpful tool for many project managers can be to properly employ the risk management plan, which will allow them to identify possible risks, assess potential impact, develop ways to respond, and how to correctly implement those plans or even adjust them for unforeseen problems. Here we see a project team and other critical individuals partaking in step 1 of the risk management process, risk identification. During this time, the team analyzes the project to identify any possible sources of risk, disregarding relevance or importance in order to get a large cross-section of potential hazards. The organization should also look outside the core project team when identifying these risks. Those that should be included in this process are relevant stakeholders, customers, sponsors, subcontractors, and even vendors that can offer critical insight into different aspects of the project. The important thing to remember during this time is to identify risks before they happen in order to ensure greater project success. During risk identification, all potential risks are listed. However, several of these will not apply to the project on which you are currently focusing your efforts. During the second step of the risk management process, risk assessment, the risk relevance is determined. One of the most effective tools to achieve this is scenario analysis, which assesses each risk event in terms of both the likelihood it will happen and the impact it would have on the project if it did in fact occur. To help with this process, project managers often utilize a tool known as a risk matrix. Using a risk matrix will allow the team to analyze risk in terms of both the likelihood and impact and assign levels to each. Here, we see a simple 1 through 5 scale. While completing risk assessment, the team should start to realize which risk is the most threatening and begin to think about how to possibly counteract them. Assessing risk is important, but it's not the end. Actually, much planning is about to begin, here during the third step in the risk management process, risk response development. Once the applicable risks have been identified and assessed, the project team must begin to develop what to do in the unfortunate event something does in fact go wrong. As a project manager, you have several options to help your team get through any unwanted events, such as mitigating, avoiding, transferring, sharing, and even retaining the risks. Despite how you are going to respond in the event a risk does occur, contingency plans should also be developed as they help to respond both quickly and effectively in the event of a problem. Contingency plans help reduce panic and focus recovery efforts in a positive manner. The plan should include a cost estimate and source of funding to show legitimacy. Further, they should have a trigger event preset that would initiate their implementation by the assigned overseer. The main focus of response development is to not only evaluate the potential threats, but to also thoroughly plan for them in the event they do unfortunately become a reality. Once the appropriate risks have been identified, assessed, and their responses are developed, successful project managers must look to effectively coordinate the fourth and final step of the risk management process, risk response control. During this time, the team must look to implement not only the plans that they have set, but also to respond to any new unforeseen risk that may develop. A change management system is one of the key features of this step, as it focuses on dealing with almost any deviation in the original project scheme. In order to effectively control risks, an environment which allows individuals to admit things are not going as planned must be created. With this, allows for easier risk response and reduction in additional costs that will be incurred from handling the unplanned events. During this time, communication will be key to successful risk control, as the corrective measures must be established and followed to allow the project to move forward without further delays and problems. The main focus is to establish processes for effectively introducing response plans in both a timely and costly manner so that project success is further ensured and customer satisfaction is heightened. As you can see, the risk management process can be complex and strenuous for a project team and its manager. However, if the time and effort is effectively spent early before the project even begins, much can be saved. Effective identification, assessment, response, and control will help a team encounter any risk event that does become a reality and further the likelihood of project success. Thanks for joining us today on the Oregon State MBA channel, and be sure to tune in next Monday as we take a look at scheduling resources and their costs.